AITA for embarrassing my sister's friend and making her feel unwelcome. My sister, cousin and a couple friends came over last night after work. My sister brought a friend of hers I'd only met a few times that I've never had an issue with. At one point I went to the bathroom, and the ladies were in the living room, calmly enjoying wine. When I came out, my sister's friend was in the kitchen, arguing with my son. I asked her what she was doing. She said my son went into the kitchen to get food, and she told him to wait until I came out of the bathroom to ask me for permission. I stared at her for a second and then said, "Who the fuck are you? You don't live here." "He does." "Who are you to tell him he can't go in his own kitchen?" She looked surprised and said she was trying to be helpful. I repeated my question of why she thought it was okay to tell someone they can't use their own kitchen when she's a guest in someone else's house. She dodged the question and then brought up that she's a teacher, which isn't even relevant, and sometimes kids try to get around rules. I asked her what that has to do with anything. I then asked who even gave her permission to go in my kitchen. She said she followed my son in. I said, "So you think my son needs permission to go in his own kitchen? But you can go wherever you like in my house without invitation, so you have more rights here than he does." She said she didn't feel welcome anymore and was leaving. She went back in the living room, grabbed her bag and walked out. My sister asked what happened, and I explained that she had a disagreement with my son. My cousin and some of the other ladies said they thought it was strange she followed him into the kitchen and had been wondering why she did that, and thought her motive was weird as hell. My sister and a couple other ladies said her behavior was perfectly normal, and I was unnecessarily hostile to her. My cousin said, "But why would you confront a child you don't know instead of saying something to the aunt who's right here? That's so weird." Everyone but my sister acknowledged that part was weird, and we all moved on. Later, my sister confronted me privately and said she was upset I chased off her friend. She said she really likes this woman, and that I was way over the top in the way I spoke to her. I can be a little extra when it comes to defending my kid, so was I an asshole? Not the asshole. This lady way overstepped and you corrected her in a way that most parents would when their child is being attacked. And he was. You should sleep well knowing you did the right thing, and your son will sleep better knowing his parent 100% has his back. Your sister can be upset that a confrontation happened between a friend and her sibling, but her friend was way out of line. Okay, next story. AITA for having a celebration dinner after my brother's divorce. My brother just got his divorce finalized. No one in the family liked his wife. She was not a nice person, i.e., she'd ask for ideas on what to spend his money on. Was the type of person that celebrated her birthday for 2 weeks and expected everyone to do the same. There were many arguments over that when people in our family didn't show up for each and every event she planned or wore the shirt she'd make for her birthday. Interrupt when people were talking to talk about herself, go running to our mother anytime she asked for something, and my brother told her no. The tipping point was when our mother was going through chemo. She had issues with her feet swelling and would elevate them while resting on the couch. The one time we all came to visit, my brother brought his wife and she just took the pillow out from under mom's feet to use it in the chair she was in because she was tired. Aside from expressing our concerns when they first started dating, we never said anything to him and tolerated her for his sake to not push him away and just griped amongst ourselves. Now they're divorced. The day that it was finalized, I took my brother out for dinner and invited some of our friends that hadn't been able to see him because of his wife. While we were at the restaurant, I toasted his new chapter in life. Someone said real classy, and it turned out one of Xil's friends now works at the restaurant. We finished our dinner, left, went out for a while longer. I got home and while watching a show with my wife, my phone was going off with notifications. All messages from my ex still chewing me out for celebrating their divorce. Since my wife wanted to know who was messaging me, I showed her the messages and she's of the mind that while she understands why no one liked my ex celebrating their divorce and toasting it was a prick move, she thought I had been exaggerating when I said I was taking my brother out to celebrate. It's been a few days and my wife is still shaking her head at me over it. AITA. Okay, next story. AITA for not considering my family's schedule for my wedding. My fiancé and I have been together for over 4 years. We have always been very vocal with everyone about having a destination wedding. We love to travel, and weddings in the US are very expensive. We are paying for everything ourselves and receiving no financial help from family. All of our friends and family are pretty well off, especially my mom who owns a very successful business. Last year I finally popped the question to my now fiancé. We were ecstatic and we started planning immediately. For the destination we initially decided on my fiancé's hometown in Mexico. This is where the first issue started. My mom was questioning what there was to do around that area since they wanted to bundle the wedding with a vacation, and she didn't see the location as ideal. Second issue was that it wasn't fair that my fiancé's family got to have the wedding so close to their home when my family had to travel so far. So eventually we scratched Mexico as a destination spot, and went with a more fair place where both sides had to travel. We ended up choosing Italy. Note, we are paying for a 2-night stay in our venue for our immediate family including siblings. For the date, we chose our 5th anniversary, which is October 2023. This date is sentimental to us and it was 18 months away at the time and long enough for everyone attending to plan their trip. This is where the largest issue ensued with my mom. She was extremely upset and blew up on me because the date that we chose for our wedding coincided with my brother's HS football games along with activities for my other 3 siblings. They accused us of being selfish and inconsiderate for picking such an inconvenient date, especially for my brother since he is the quarterback of his team. According to her, it was impossible for him to skip a single game or practice, leaving him out of the wedding. They have threatened to not attend our wedding unless we change the date to summer or December to accommodate my siblings. If we were to change it, it would increase the cost for us and guests significantly due to high travel season. We chose this date because it meant something to us and moving it was non-negotiable. My family still believes that we are targeting them and purposefully excluding them from the wedding. This has been very hard for me since I am a very non-confrontational person, but I am holding my ground. Everyone else is excited and very supportive. Over 40 people have already RSVP'd and started planning their trips, but my parents have not even bought tickets yet. AITA for not changing my wedding date and by consequence excluding my brother. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe down below. Cheers.